What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Jump to Start Racing program. My name is Wellington, and I'm here with two of my closest friends.
Oh, now we're close friends.
You might be demoted if you don't chill out. You might be demoted back to non-closest. Ruben, say hello.
What's going on, guys?
Yhancy.
Hi.
Hi.
On today's show, we will be talking about some driver movement, which we were just kind of talking about right before we started recording. We'll also talk about the amazing dollar amount associated with the Max Verstappen crash.
The hefty penny.
Yeah, hefty penny at Silverstone. And we'll also be
penny
doing
to you.
to Ruben, yeah. Ruben and Lance Stroll. Lawrence
Right
Stroll,
there.
sorry,
That's
same
my
level.
buddy.
But,
Dictatorship.
and then we'll also be doing the Hungarian Grand Prix preview. Gentlemen, Ruben, how was your weekend, dude?
I was home sleeping a week.
Home sleeping. You didn't work Saturday?
Yeah, I did work Saturday. Long day too. Super hot.
Super.
Yeah, it's been
Not in that type of hot, but hot weather hot.
humid, right?
What's the other
Yeah.
type of high?
Terrible weather here in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, how was your weekend?
Same thing at home.
After work Saturday, Sunday you work?
Yeah.
Sunday you were home?
Yeah. I mean, and then there was no F1 race, so kind of like, you know.
There was a Formula E. What do you want?
No, I was waiting. There
What
was
do you
no
want?
F1 race.
Oh.
I think you're gonna have to start pressing the button yourself.
Just hit it
bro.
so at least people know what I'm talking. How we feel when there's no F1 race.
Yeah. And there was actually not that much content anyways, too. So I didn't see who posted a video, who did this. There was
I think we're missing the back-to-back weekends, man.
It was a slow news week. Well, guess what? After this race, it's going to be a long
Yeah,
break.
I know. What are we gonna do with ourselves?
should we brunch?
I think that I need to stop asking how you guys' weekends were.
How was your weekend, was? Because nobody asked you.
It was chilled out. I don't really remember.
Did you go to the beach?
I went to the beach Saturday. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
nice.
cool.
Which one?
Nice. Rockaway.
How was
Yo,
it?
There's this spot. If you guys are from New York, there's a spot in Rockaway, Queens. It's called Talkaway Beach. You already know what it's about. Tacos. Dude, unbelievable fish tacos.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know I'm a fan of the fish taco. And then the juices that they have. It's a good time. The elote is delicious. It's a good time. It's delicious. Nice vibes. Talkaway Beach if you
Nice.
are from
Come
New
to
York.
New York.
To the ferry down there, no?
No, I drove. Come on.
Okay. No, man, just New York thing,
No.
Took the ferry to the beach.
I should have biked there.
There
Anyway,
you go.
with that said, let's jump into it. The news. The reported dollar amount for Red Bull that Red Bull had to, dish out for that crash at Silverstone of the
hefty penny.
hefty penny, the 51G impact, Max Verstappen going into the barriers, 1.8 million, the equivalent of $1.8 million.
Jeez.
Dollars, not
Dollars.
dollars.
Dollars, no R at the end of that. We couldn't afford the R. You got to remember that this year we have a budget cap in place for the first time. It's currently set at $145 million annually. So that, yeah. Right. So that's already over 1% of the yearly cap just on that crash. Obviously, Christian Horner said that the damage, the bill for that damage will have massive ramifications on the season for them.
That's probably why they were blaming Hamilton that he did it on purpose.
What do you think? Go ahead, continue. Expound
What
on
would that
that.
lead to?
Well, I mean, I don't think he did it on purpose, but the speculation it could be valid considering that if they have to spend $1.8 million on just to get the car back in order or basically replace the whole car, it puts them at a disadvantage late in the season if something like this happens again, where they're going to be short on cash just to, make new parts or manufacture new parts or even come up with upgrades, which could put Mercedes in the driver's seat as far as
No pun intended.
no pun intended, put Mercedes in the driver's seat in the championship because they're able to allocate more resources to winning. And at the end of the day, who has more money usually wins in F1.
Yeah.
How much is that F1 engine?
I have no idea.
And how much, let's say, for example, if they go over the limit of engine usage, like from instead of 3, they get to use 4. So they have to like incur grid penalties and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure this engine is trash. So they're going to get a fresh new engine.
Yeah. So that means they're going to be...
There's also
engine,
benefits.
gearbox.
This is going to be engine number 3.
No, but listen to what I'm saying.
Max's car.
I know, but it was an accident that was caused. I'm pretty sure something. I don't know the details, what entails of the rule, but I'm pretty sure they're going to get on a brand new engine just to be on the safe side without any grid penalties and stuff like that.
Did you see that car? Yeah.
It was destroyed.
They're definitely going
like
to
spaghetti.
put him a brand new engine.
Looked like spaghetti.
But yeah, you spend $1.8 million, but if you blow, come on, we're talking about Red Bull here. They're going to blow an engine, or they're going to do, they're bound to something happen on the car major, so they got it for free now. Oh, they pay $1.8 million.
1.8 million.
And Max had a concussion.
But I think you also have to. I think if you go to a 4th engine, or they're either gonna have to revert to the old spec, or go to a brand new engine and take a grid penalty.
Yeah,
if we ever got
something out of their hands. That's what I'm saying. Like that engine is the whole car is trash.
But it definitely puts them at a disadvantage budget cap wise.
Yeah.
And as far as parts allocation, it puts them at a disadvantage as well. So
remember that's also the second massive crash for Max Verstappen. We had a big crash at Baku.
Yeah, you're right.
So
I don't think the damage was as extensive as this, but it was a big crash.
That car was destroyed too.
Yeah. So
not like this one. This one was bad.
Has Perez had any major accidents? He had an accident at the sprint race. The car shut off at the first race.
But did they lose that car? Like
no,
all the components on the car.
No, but it just goes. It's a testament again to the consistency of Mercedes, who
I'm gonna do the homework on that.
Just doesn't have those types of accidents.
Like I'm gonna look into
for the most part. Yeah.
If an accident like of this magnitude happens, that the car's trash and then like a brand new car, are they gonna if they bring a brand new engine? You know, obviously like you get 3 for the year, but this one is trash. So now you have 2 for the year. So you have to,
they actually now Red Bull has just 1 for the year.
No, but what I'm saying is, and this one as a whole for the year, you get 3 for the year.
Right.
So, but let's forget about what happened before. So, this engine is trash. So now you have 2 for the year, and they already used 1, because most cars already, they already changed to a fresher engine.
Yeah.
So do they get a new engine? Because this one is trash, and they didn't go through the life of the engine because obviously an accident happened.
I don't think so.
No, because then if they don't get an engine, then they are forced. I would say maybe they get like you said, an older spec engine. Maybe. That's what I say I want to
Well, they would use the engine at because it's like an engine pool, right? So you have 3 engines. They would what a lot of teams do, like for example, if let's say your engine blows, I think Williams did this. I think it was Williams. One of their engine blew. They went into an older spec engine, or one that was already in the pool. Don't take my word. I know that's what happens, but they don't get to use. They don't magically get a 4th engine because it wouldn't be fair to the other team.
I would crash my engine on purpose.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna
do another.
I gotta
deep dive.
Do another. What is it? Crashgate. What happened in Singapore with Renault?
Singapore.
No, because now they're going to go into their 3rd engine, and we're not even. Well, next week's race is going to be.
Assuming the engine was trashed, for sure. Like the gearbox. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that was that was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but what happens?
It didn't look like when it went in, like the angle that it went into the barriers. It didn't look like it was crazy, but then when they took it out, see how destroyed it looked like.
It looked like spaghetti.
I'm gonna look into this out of curiosity. What happens? But more than likely, it'll be like what you said. I think that sounds more reasonable, like an older spec engine.
Yeah, because I think it wouldn't be.
Because if you're in a brand new engine, now you're getting even more advantage. On an engine that was already used in this aspect and stuff like that.
Yo, what type of cheddar cheese do you eat that it looks like
Why didn't Yhancy just say Swiss? Yhancy, what's going on?
Oh, no, I did mean Swiss. That's cheese. The one with the holes.
Swiss.
Cheddar cheese.
Joltsburg.
It looked like burnt cheddar cheese.
Burnt cheddar cheese.
There you go.
Boiling cheddar cheese.
Boiling cheddar cheese.
Oh my god!
All right. I meant Swiss. Sorry.
All right. So $1.8 million worth of damage. Obviously, a big impact in terms of the title fight. Just moving on to the next set of news here. Monza The Italian Grand Prix has been confirmed as the next venue for the F1 sprint race. I mean, it was all but confirmed at this point.
Yeah.
Is he crying?
Yeah, because I'm thinking about Swiss and cheddar. Like, I'm kind of hungry right now. It was a tough weekend. I could just use some cheese.
We might have platter for next time.
Yeah.
He was
Little
missing,
charcuterie
he was
board.
missing some cheddar cheese in the fish tacos.
Tell me about it.
Okay.
All right. So it'll follow the Italian Grand Prix sprint setup. Will follow the same format as the British Grand Prix. It'll be FP1 first, followed by qualifying on Friday afternoon. FP2 followed by the sprint qualifying on the Saturday afternoon, and then the race itself. The third sprint race Grand Prix has not yet been announced, but it's expected to be outside of Europe for now. It's supposed to be at a flyaway event. What do you guys think? I think, to me, just to start it off, it's the best venue to hold it.
Yeah.
A lot of overtaking. A lot of...
It's a very competitive track.
yeah.
Temple of Speed. And we've gotten, I think, the past 2 years, really good races there.
Yes.
Unexpected results.
Yeah.
And qualifying too?
Qualifying's been fun.
Fun
Obviously.
and funny, yes.
Fun and funny.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you get the and then you need a slipstream there to do good in
Yes.
qualifying. Maybe we'll get a good sprint race. I don't know. But I mean, overall, I think it's probably is what we discussed before when this whole news came out. They're doing it at tracks where, one, it's fast, two, they're wide enough to overtake, and it's kind of easier to follow in these tracks.
So Brazil will be the third one.
That's what they were talking about, but we don't even know if we're getting a race in Brazil yet. It's still on the calendar. So
Yeah. That coronavirus right now is not...
yep, and it's
it's still there.
As
Is it still there? Yeah.
yeah.
It's still in Japan, and we're doing the Olympics.
Yep.
Yeah, that Delta.
Delta Plus.
Is that over time, though? Less time? Like, positive delta, negative delta? On your lap? No? Okay, my bad.
Hit it.
Wah, wah, wah.
My bad.
Oh, man. I mean, it's kind of a ways out at this point. It's over a month out. It's after Spa, but we anticipate a lot of what we already saw, except that... let me backtrack. At the British Grand Prix, we saw Mercedes go with a very low drag setup to be able to compensate and try to attack the Red Bull on the streets, on my street, the Wellington Straight, and obviously start finish, Air Straight, etc. Monza really lends itself to that type of setup. Do we anticipate kind of the Mercedes strikes back as far as the sprint races go in that scenario?
No, because I think Silverstone lends itself to have different setups because obviously each car has different characteristics. In Monza, most cars run with low downforce setup, and we've also seen Red Bull when the hoopla came out where it seemed like they were faster on the straights than the Mercedes. It was more so obviously the engine was up to par. But it was more so because they also went with a low downforce setup. What track was it? Do you remember?
It wasn't Baku, but I do not remember.
Yeah, but it was one of the earlier tracks where they were just as fast, but it was because they trimmed they had a lower downforce setup. In Monza, you would expect that Red Bull would be just as fast, or not faster than the Mercedes. Jeez. So I think it'll be a very, very
when would you ever
race.
think of having said that? That's crazy.
Because they can definitely not only obviously the engine I believe is up to par, and then most people believe is up to par to the Mercedes engine now. But if you can trim more downforce, which usually people do at Monza anyways, Red Bull is gonna be all right over there too.
Let's not forget that we're referring the engine that Yhancy says is up to par. We're talking about a Honda engine.
Yes.
That
it's more than up to par.
No, but I'm saying that,
which was referred to a couple of years ago as a GP3 engine.
Exactly. That's why
by Fernando Alonso.
So that's how much they haven't improved. They've been jumping hurdles.
How things have changed.
Yes.
And quickly as well.
Yep.
So
in Red Bull, it's just been like on a turbine.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much.
So it'll be a very interesting weekend, to say the least. And the fact that we're going to get action all 3 days of the week is going to be a lot of fun. Monza's always fun anyway.
Monza's always a good.
Yeah, and it's not going to have the cops into the Maggots and Beckett's that kind of Red Bull was able to capitalize on and really kind of start pulling away on.
Yeah, it's all straight line
It's
speed.
all straights and chicanes and the parabolica.
Yep, it's quick.
I love that track in the game.
Template
Yeah,
speed.
because it's easy, right?
Yep.
Just basically say you have no skills, bro.
What can I say? I always lost against him and Steven. So yeah.
Shout out Steven. Oh man. All right. So there's just really not a lot of news this, I guess, go around. But one other thing that we wanted to talk about is it's a rumor, but it was reported by ESPN India first, and then regular ESPN the U.S. network picked it up. There are rumors that Alfa Romeo is lining up Bottas for 2022, meaning that they are making him their main target as a driver ad for the next season.
So is Kimi retiring?
If he doesn't sign with Mercedes.
If he doesn't sign with
That's
Mercedes.
the caveat.
Is Kimi retiring?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like Kimi's too happy there.
No, he's not. The car sucks.
He
says it.
there was some car. Yeah, exactly. He's like he doesn't feel that the team is developing.
It's tough this
Is
year.
developing the car fast enough in order for them to
Well,
get
this year
to go
is tough to
fast.
demand that
Right,
from your team.
exactly. If I'm Alpha, I'm like, you know what? Let me
Yo,
just
my
kinda
dude,
chill
like,
out.
Dude, chill out.
So I mean, the car seems to be getting slower, but I think it's not a matter of like they just can't do it. It's just I think they're allocating their resources for next year. As most
And
teams are
Giovinazzi's
doing.
driving the fine.
Yeah, but I mean they're not. I mean the thing is that for the first few races you were looking at that car and you could say, all right, they can fight for points, but now they're not really fighting for anything. Well, but to the bottom, like at the bottom tier, like maybe like a 10th place or a 9th place, But now, I mean, they've scored some points, but it's not a consistent contender.
Just to talk on Alfa Romeo, I feel like if you're Kimi, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Kimi, if I'm Giovinazzi, I'm looking at Ferrari. Wow, look at Charles Leclerc. He was in first place for how many laps at Silverstone? Yeah. Wow, he's been on the podium. Where's our improvement? Let's call it the same engine. Granted, one's a works team, one's a customer team. But like we should be able to make the same jump, and we're back, not even fighting with the Alpines, the Aston Martins.
Well, I mean,
they're not in the mix.
I think
they're
it's just a matter of resources.
Yeah,
they are a small team,
right,
compared to a Ferrari or a Red Bull or a Mercedes or even an Aston Martin.
Right,
Aston Martin is
it's a $145 million cost cap, but that doesn't mean you have to spend up to that.
Right, and that doesn't mean that you can spend up to that.
Right.
So, yeah, and what do you guys think? Do you think that? I think for maybe it looks like Kimi is going to be retiring. I know that after this year, for a Ferrari driver, academy driver, does not have to be in one of those seats. So, Frederick Vasseur, which is the team principal at Alfa Romeo, does have his choice on both drivers, not just one. So, I mean, you have also the rumor that they were looking at Schumacher to come in at Alfa Romeo also. So they get rid of both. You have Schumacher and, I think the key to the driver market is going to be what Mercedes does with Bottas. Do they sign him or do they not? If they don't sign him, then
musical chairs.
Let's go, baby. Yeah. Then we're getting ready to discuss a lot of driver transfers.
Shuffling.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, we were talking about it right before we started recording. Let's start with that first domino. Does Mercedes re-sign Valtteri Bottas?
They have to.
I think so. As much as I would love for them not to sign him, just to see what happens, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it again, they're not going to put George Russell next to Lewis Hamilton at this point in the game. You have your number one driver already, which is Lewis Hamilton.
I agree with you on that.
7-time world champion, 99
you can't bring a young kid to embarrass
winner.
You can't bring somebody that is going to be more hungry.
Arguably
right
the best qualifier in the game.
Is that what you think, that he's going to be embarrassed by George Russell?
Not like on a, but when I say embarrassed is you're going to bring a kid that's probably going to be right. I mean, Bottas got his tails still to qualify. So it's just
to qualify, not on the race.
I know, but on the race,
it's not about him. I think that's the wrong choice of words. It's not about embarrassing. It's just that you're gonna want a more harmonious atmosphere.
Wow. You threw out the 50 Cent word. You got to pay
so pretty much
next time for that.
Harmonious.
You would not get to see something that happened like bad on Leclerc and Ferrari. That's what you're saying. So that's pretty much what's going to happen.
That's
Vettel,
what's going to
Leclerc,
happen.
Vettel,
That's exactly
Weber,
what's going to happen.
Nico Rosberg and Hamilton.
Yeah, that's what's coming back if he doesn't.
And it took Nico. Well, Nico Rosberg was competitive for most of the time when he was there, so he was right there on his heels. It just got real ugly. But I wouldn't expect anything if you have a young driver, and we've seen that as good as George Russell has been, definitely still makes mistakes. He's still feisty, to say, and he is not going to take the team orders as good or as in good spirits as a Bottas would. Even though you see sometimes that Bottas is a little bit angry,
questions it, yeah,
but he questions it. But at the end of the day, he is a team player. I'm not saying that George Russell's not, but I think Valtteri Bottas will handle him in a more professional way.
Than Russell, yes.
Yeah, we've seen Russell hit out, especially after that crash in Imola, how he made a big hoopla, how, Bottas, if it was another driver, Bottas wouldn't have done what he did, which was all BS anyways, but
right.
Toto had to sit him down and put him in his place. I don't think that now that you're involving your number one driver, the 7-time world champion, I don't think that's something that you're going to want to bring onto the team. I don't think that's something that Toto Wolff wants to.
They don't want the aura anymore.
They don't want that atmosphere at the team. And I think if they do bring Russell in, not that I'm saying that it's going to happen, but there's a more potential of something
going
like
wrong.
that happen.
Yeah. So I'm going to read it was on essentiallysports.com. I don't even know if it's an accurate source or whatever, but the story came out yesterday. Toto Wolff, affirms bad news for Valtteri Bottas amidst likely farewell 2021 season with Mercedes. That was their headline, not mine. The quote from Toto Wolff that they're using here: "It is very important because statistically, his odds to win the championship are very small compared to Lewis, who is very much in the fight." What does that mean? They're supposing that it's going to be just driver orders the rest of the way from Valtteri Bottas.
Wow.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the running. I mean, if you look at the driver standings, he's what?
He's fourth.
He's fourth place.
5 points.
Lewis has 177 points, is 108. I mean, unless Max is 185. So yeah, he's in the running for third place with Lando and Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
But his fight is not with Lewis. So at this point in the season, when you have such a huge points gap, which is what, 69 points.
Nice.
That's about three DNFs that you need. Yeah, he's not going to. There's no way he'll beat Lewis Hamilton
or Max.
Or Max in the championship. Well, but I'm just talking about the intra-team battle.
Yeah,
Lewis Hamilton in the championship. So yeah, it's going to be team orders for him. He's going to be the team player, and to his credit, that's what he did the last race. He gave way to Lewis Hamilton, no issue, obviously, because he understood that he was on a strategy that Lewis could easily beat him because Lewis had fresher tires. He had to pit earlier to cover Lando. And he also did. Well, they instructed him to look at Lewis's car after the first lap crash to see if there was any damage. And he looked. He said, "I don't see anything." But he's a good team player, which is why I say he's not a bad driver. He's a good number 2 driver, but he's also a good driver to keep a harmonious atmosphere in the team.
Yeah, because he's quiet.
I wish I had like a drop with little birds.
This is not the Care Bears. It's Formula One, man.
It's not the Care Bears. It's
Formula One.
A harmonious atmosphere. So yeah, I mean,
You're
little birds chirping. I can't whistle. Jesus, I'm trying to be all zen and peaceful.
No, I'm just. You know what?
like Mercedes.
It's not so much.
What Mercedes has.
Yeah,
It's not so much that, right? what I am looking at you incredulously. That's my 50. Here's my 50 cents.
There we go.
What was that?
So look,
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Lewis Hamilton has not won every race this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has at times not even been top 2, but most of the time he's there.
Mhm.
What if the other Mercedes drivers was challenging for a race win? That would benefit you both in the Constructors' Championship, and you wouldn't have to worry about. Granted, there could be accidents like Spain back with 2016, where your two drivers collide. But I would rather have my two drivers cannibalizing themselves and the Red Bull or the whatever the competitive driver is for the championship. I'd rather have the two best drivers in that seat rather than be harmonious and essentially taking it up the butt from Red Bull where they could have a better driver there and seal away that World Constructors' Championship.
I think that scenario works if there's really nobody else challenging for the championship. So it would have worked.
Constructors or drivers?
Well, for the drivers. Because maybe that would have, and it kind of played out that way last season where it was only the two Mercedes drivers really in the championship hunt.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. That works out. But then when you add a third or fourth team that's challenging for the drivers' championship or even the constructor championship, what you're having is drivers, your drivers taking points off of each other.
Right.
Instead of working in tandem. So that works if it's like we said, how it's worked out for most of the hybrid era, except for maybe the 2 years that Ferrari was actually where Sebastian Vettel was
18 and 19?
Yeah, 18 and 19 or 17, 18 and 19.
Okay.
Well, 17 and
17
18.
and
really.
18 really, yeah.
17 and 18.
Cheating engine.
Yeah, whatever.
We're both wearing red Mercedes hats, by the way. This is a little weird.
Yeah. Eventually you guys come to the dark side. So yeah, that works. But when you add another team, when you're fighting a different team, then you're worried about your drivers taking points off of each other. And then you can have accidents where none of the cars finish and then you have the other team finishing. So it's a big risk. Right. It's definitely a balance. But you rather have what's happening now where you have the top two drivers on different teams and then you have the number two drivers in support being the rear gunner.
I guess. And I'm gonna give you the example that's already transpired. 2007, right? Hamilton and Alonso fighting it out. Hamilton's rookie year. And who was the championship? None other than Kimi Räikkönen.
Because
they were because they were taking points off of each other. But fine. I'm surprised.
It'll be a lot more fun for us if it's that way. But at the end of the day, it is a team sport.
So given all these team orders, what do you think Valtteri Bottas would say?
To whom it may concern you.
Damn, son.
If he gets to that point,
that wasn't a home run, but that was like a solid double.
I don't know about that because I had to tee it up. He should have been already hit that. He's not going anywhere, is what you guys said.
Listen, bro, we have to give him encouragement until he gets to the point where he's comfortable.
You're the carrot, I'm the stick.
By himself.
Oh, you got to talk about me?
Yeah.
Yes. He's the carrot and I'm the stick.
I thought we were still talking about both of you.
You, wake up.
Ruben Bottas.
Go ahead, hit the
Ruben Bottas.
The failure. There we go.
So you have to getting them ready.
Is George Russell available to join us? So speaking of George Russell, there's no word. He was supposed to be announced as the other driver for Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, that did not come to pass at the British Grand Prix. We hear the consensus is that we believe that it will not happen. I still think that it will happen. I think Bottas is on his way out. That's kind of where there's smoke, there's fire, as my good friend that sits next to me, as I hit the microphone. My good friend that sits next to me, Yhancy, says, the Alfa Romeo rumor, the rumors of George Russell joining the team, I don't know.
And these seem to be like, I mean, obviously you have rumors, but when you have rumors that are breaking out into like the mainstream F1 media,
like ESPN, dude.
Yeah,
it's not essentially sports.com.
It's like when the rumors started coming about with Fernando Alonso coming back to Renault, and you guys didn't believe me.
Okay, now we're in the opposite role where you guys don't believe.
Yeah. So listen, if I'm wrong, then I'll still be happy about it because it just creates more Netflix drama.
Yeah. Oh man.
But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think
this episode of Drive to Survive is gonna be good.
I think at the end of the day, yeah, for this one. But I
sent you an email.
It's gonna be a highlight. I don't check.
Yeah, it'll be yeah. Drive to Survive is gonna be.
It's gonna be good. Aces. Yeah. So all right. So up in the air right now, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Kimi Räikkönen, and Antonio Giovinazzi.
The bullet.
Yo, what? I wonder what would your reaction be if the Bergamo Bullet's no longer an F1?
He won't no longer be an F1. Ferrari would gladly take him back as like their simulator driver,
as reserve driver. He's still a Ferrari driver.
It would be sad for me though. Okay. And on that note, yeah, the Hungarian Grand Prix preview. We're going to start off with what we always start off with this season: trivia led by Ruben. Oh God!
Let me get my buzzer ready.
Let me go to the.
So the Hungarian Grand Prix trivia. Okay, let's go.
Trivia.
Let's go with an easy question. In the 2020 Grand Prix, name the team that made a strategic move.
Skinner.
To
inside joke.
In the 2020 Grand Prix,
I'll save you from that.
And it was 2020 Hungarian Grand Prix.
It was Haas. They pitted before. Yeah.
Was he right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The question was going to be: they made the strategic. What
so we can buzz before the question is even asked.
You try to guess, yeah. Yo, I think he cheated because.
Yo, where are we at?
I don't know.
Look, the button isn't even working. The applause button.
Are you serious?
That one is working, but this one.
No applause.
Anyway.
Well, I guess we'll use that one. All right, whatever.
So what Ruben was going to ask is, what was the team that made the strategic decision to pit before the race, or before the race even started? Because
the formation lap, or when to start from the pits.
Yeah,
they still
start
got
to the
penalty,
pits,
didn't they?
No, it wasn't them. The Kvyat got a penalty.
Oh.
Was it? Because Kvyat got coached.
Oh, because they got a Kvyat got a penalty because they got coached before the.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like total radio silent.
Or like they could. There's a weird way they could say it.
And coach.
That was good. They were up to like 4th and 5th. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That changed pretty much almost the whole
makeup of the race for them. Okay,
do you know the score?
Huh?
Do you know the score?
I just said I don't.
Oh.
Applause.
Finally, when he wants to press the button, it doesn't work.
No, there's something wrong with him.
I don't know.
All right, come on, let's go.
Next question.
You get at least one right today.
The 2000, I don't think so. That was the easy one.
Oh God.
The 2006 Hungarian Grand Prix was Jason Button's first F1 victory. Can you tell me where he started on the grid?
What was that year?
2006.
What place he started on the grid?
Yep. Holy crap, dude.
16th.
10th. Negative. Where?
He actually started 14th.
Oh, wow.
Damn. If this was the price.
And he was also, obviously, it was his first win. It was also Honda's first win as a constructor. Great it was also the first place for Damon Hill's first win, and also Fernando Alonso's first win, and also what made him the youngest driver back then.
Not in the same year. Right?
No, not in the same year.
Okay.
But I'm talking about Hungarian Grand Prix being the first Grand Prix win. This one is a little weird. So, Robert Kubica is the only driver to be this. Kubica, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm Spanish. I go say Kubica. I don't know. You want to say Kubica? Whatever. It's the only
tomato, potato.
He's the only driver to be disqualified at the Hungarian Grand Prix. He actually managed to finish the race in 7th place. Can you say the reason why he was disqualified from the race? After the race.
What year was this?
It doesn't say. I didn't write the year.
So he say that again?
He's the only driver to be disqualified at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Right.
He actually managed to finish the race before they announced, can you say the reason why he was disqualified after the race?
Fuel consumption, excess fuel consumption.
I don't know, his car was too wide.
You were close.
What is
Too
it?
heavy.
It was actually underweight by 2 kilograms.
Jesus, that was close.
That's all I got.
It's like a close but no cigar day for me.
That's it.
That's all I got for trivia. Yeah.
All right.
Only
Take
3
it away
questions.
as far as history.
Dun, dun, dun. Go ahead. So this place is actually there's a lot of highlights, a lot of history in this place for being such, I would say, young track. Like the first, this track came into place in 1986. When it did happen, it was 50 years, like in about 50 years in absence of actual race being held at Hungary. It's one of the shortest circuits as well on the grid. It's also in the category as one of the slowest circuits in the calendar, but it always gives us a lot of back and forth and a lot of great and exciting races. The winners drivers, Lewis Hamilton has 8, going for his 9th this weekend. Hopefully he gets something good. Schumacher 4, Senna has 3. The constructors is McLaren with 11, and then it's a tie between Williams and Ferrari with 7. Engine manufacturers, Mercedes has 13, Renault 8, Ferrari has 7. Obviously because they won 7 races. Highlights: 1986, where Piquet and Senna were battling for the victory, and Piquet had that forward drift. And that video actually lose.
Every time somebody mentions PK now, I just think of his daughter.
His daughter, not the drift. Gosh.
That was the overtake on Senna, right?
That was not it.
Kavia by Max, no?
What happened?
Yeah, it was overtaken.
PK.
Yeah, Kelly Piquet. was-
Yeah. Max overtook Kavia.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
wrong.
Okay. No. Here. Sorry, guys. My bad.
That's just wrong.
But yeah, it was an overtake on
Senna.
Senna. Yeah.
Yes.
But obviously he overtook Senna, then Senna got him back, and then on that turn,
Yeah.
it was pretty much like towards the end of the race and everything.
He almost lost the car. That's
Yes.
actually a great video to watch if you guys get a chance to watch it on YouTube.
Another highlight with Senna is 1988, where Prost overtook Senna, and then Prost took it right back with like an old switcheroo, like the way pretty much Ricardo has made famous, and that was also another highlight, from the Hungarian Grand Prix. Alonso in 2013 doing a phenomenal drive in the wets, by going back and forth with Michael Schumacher, and he was actually that was when he got his first win. Alonso again. Actually, no, it was in 03 he did like an unexpected drive to get his first win. In 06 was actually Schumacher and him battle in the wets, where obviously
Alonso came out on top
yes,
against the great Michael Schumacher.
Alonso again, but this time was in 07, and that's where he held up Lewis Hamilton in the pits during quali. And obviously that led us into a bunch of penalties, and I believe the drivers didn't score points that day, and all of I think the constructor itself, McLaren, those points didn't count for him.
That was Hamilton's rookie year.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In 2014, it was last year's heroic work by Rebels Mechanics. Actually, not 2014. I'm sorry. I jumped points here. 2020 was the heroic work by the mechanics, where they put Max cars back together. I think it was like 12 minutes of the day.
Impressive teamwork.
And
he won the race.
Yeah, that was when Mike's collided, the formation lap, and all that other stuff.
He pulled a George Russell.
What did I miss? Was you got something?
Yes, in 2009, that was also the accident where the spring came loose. I forget off of
it was
whose car.
here.
Yeah, 2009 hit Felipe Massa in the helmet and knocked him out cold, and he crashed
Damn, I can't
into the
believe I missed
barrier.
that one.
That
You sure it was here?
I'm positive.
Okay.
That was one of the impetuses for our Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
By the way, if somebody's able to watch that video, it's also like
Ridiculous, dude.
he's flying. You see like a speck hit him, and then he just goes straight.
Yeah, and then
It's not something.
it didn't look like much, but then
Exactly,
you
yeah,
see
it
the
doesn't look
helmet,
like
it's
it was-
like
Yeah.
No, but
it's
then
like-
obviously the
but it was a
aftermath.
spring though that hit him.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
spring.
No,
Crazy.
in the video itself doesn't look like you're still wondering what happened.
Yeah.
But obviously the aftermath, when you see what happened on his face and why,
Mhm.
that
It
he
knocked
got
him
knocked
out- it knocked
out.
him
He
out
was
cold.
out for a couple of races as well.
Mhm.
I think he was out for the remainder of the year.
Wow.
And obviously you see that.
Was he?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't up for the remainder of the year. He came back,
2009.
but it took him a while.
I'll take your word for it. That's crazy. 2009 was an awesome year, though.
But at that time, I think the Hungarian Grand Prix was held later in the year.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was knocked out for the rest of the
Oh,
year.
it was?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yo, I'm still missing the little white hair, like the story. Come on.
Sorry, bro.
I'm gonna Photoshop it
I
on.
will never doubt you again.
Thank you very much.
All right, so
For me.
You see? It's still not working, the applause, dude.
You had the file erased.
So look, this has been even before Red Bull today, right? Back in 16, 17, 18, well, not 16, 17, 18, 19. This was a Red Bull track, right? There was a lot of slow corners. There's just a lot of twists and
You need a lot
turns.
of downforce.
It's very sinewy. I think it's Crofty that loves to use that term for this.
What does
this
that
track.
mean?
It's like muscles tying your bones together, so it's very sinewy and
Okay.
like just cartilagey. I don't know, but that's what he says.
It's not flowy.
Correct.
Ricardo does very well on this track, by the way.
It's a very technical track. It's one of those. Actually, there was another thing. Lewis Hamilton they were running a simulator. Lewis Hamilton, without seeing what track it was, heard the dyno going, said, "Oh, that's the Hungaroring," because he could just tell from the firing up and slowing down. It's one of these tracks where you just kind of know how it is, where it is. If you're a driver, it's a very technical track that you really prepare a lot for. Predictions. Oh, wait. 2019, Lewis Hamilton won, Max Verstappen second, Sebastian Vettel third, and Charles Leclerc fourth. That was with the cheating engine. It just goes to show that the raw power is not really what dominates this track.
Yeah.
In 2020, Lewis Hamilton first, Max Verstappen second, Valtteri Bottas third, Lance Stroll fourth. 2020 was also the one where it started. It was raining. As we talked about, Haas was able to pull into the Haas drivers were able to pull into the pits before the race had officially started. And Bottas, I believe, was chasing down Max Verstappen right at the end of the race, but wasn't able to catch him. What do you guys anticipate prediction-wise? We're back to regular qualifying, no sprint qualifying. What do you guys predict qualifying-wise? Last year, 2020, it was a Mercedes front row lockout, Racing Point, third and fourth, fifth and sixth, Ferrari, crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Max Verstappen seventh. I don't really particularly remember what happened there.
Neither do I. But
I think
Max is going to win qualifying. He's going to get pole. But it'll be very close between him and Lewis Hamilton. And then I'll put Bottas. I think Bottas is a better qualifier than Perez, and Perez is fourth.
who's fifth?
Leclerc.
This is qualifying.
Yeah.
Qualifying.
Well, you know what? I'm going to put Leclerc fourth and then Perez fifth. Because this is still even though, as Carlos Sainz said, and I think the exact quote is here, this is the exact quote. Carlos Sainz said, Budapest recently has become actually a medium to high speed track with these cars because these cars have a lot of downforce. So they're able to carry more speed through the corners. Either way, this car suits the Red Bulls better. But
This track, you mean?
this track suits the Red Bull car better. However, we have seen Mercedes run well in this track also.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see them too far behind the Red Bulls. But this is one of the tracks that a lot of people, including myself, have singled out to be a track where Ferrari can spring a quote-unquote surprise podium, even though they had a surprise podium at Silverstone, which was not expected. So I'll say Max, Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, then Perez.
In qualifying, I'm along the same lines as Yhancy. It'll be Max, Hamilton, Bottas. I would not say Leclerc. I'm going to say Perez, Norris.
I'm also going to go with Max taking the pole position. I'm also going to go with Lewis Hamilton second. And I'm going to, this is.
After that is when it gets tricky. What's
I'm just looking so Bottas was second in qualifying last year. In 2019, he was eighth, right? So what I'm going to say is I'm going to put Charles Leclerc in third. then Bottas, then Perez, 4th and 5th, right?
Not far-fetched.
So, wait, I messed up. So qualifying, Bottas was actually 2nd in 2019. He finished 8th. He finished the race 8th. Race prediction itself. I'll go first. Lewis Hamilton has won this race 8 times. It's the most. He's the most winningest driver at this track. I'm gonna say he's gonna win the 9th one. I'll say Max Verstappen 2nd, and I will say Charles Leclerc 3rd.
Podium, another podium for Charlie. Let's go.
I'm gonna say Bottas 5th. I'm sorry, 4th. Sergio Perez 5th.
Ruben?
No.
I'm going to give you some information. 2019, Charles Leclerc finished 4th at the Hungaroring. Charles Leclerc finished 6th in 2020 behind his own teammate, Vettel. I'm sorry, that's qualifying. Charles Leclerc finished 11th.
There goes your argument. No, that's it.
No, that's it. It's over. Let's go home.
He's going to be 3rd.
He's going to be 3rd, though.
Okay.
I like that prediction.
For the race, I'm going with Lewis Hamilton because he's going to get that number 9 there. Max right behind him. 3rd would be Mando.
We didn't even talk about him.
What makes you wait? All right, finish up. But I want to know why you think Mando will be 3rd. But what will be 4th and 5th?
Because
first?
he's a man.
4th with Paris, 5th with Bottas.
All right, Mando. Why 3rd? Why Mando 3rd?
He's driving way better than them too.
That's it.
Yeah, he's on a roll. He's inspired. He's pushing the car, and the car is responding to him.
Do you think that?
And look, we didn't even mention Ricardo. Ricardo's last drive was and he loves this track.
You don't think that the Ferrari is suited better for this track than the McLaren?
I think what has been working for Ferrari has been a mix. It's a mix, strategies and the race working in their favor. But we know Leclerc is hungry, so.
Why do you say Ricardo loves this track?
He's always done a lot of overtakes in this track. He's also won this race in the past.
Yeah, turn 1 does suit Ricardo's driving style as far as last of the late breakers.
Yes,
and that's where most of the overtaking.
That's I remember a radar message from him when he won the race that I'm not 100% sure if he overpassed when he overtook Lewis Hamilton, and he just said, "Get her, girl," something like that. The one of the comments that he always says.
Yeah. So all right,
okay.
Max wins.
So if he keeps on a roll, if Ricardo keeps on a roll, he'll also be in the little mix of
little mix
4th, 5th.
4th, 5th.
He needs that. He needs a little. Maybe I'm giving him good vibe.
Okay. Max is gonna win this race.
Okay.
I don't think that as good as the Mercedes was, I still didn't think that it was a better car. I don't think they've caught up to Mercedes, to be honest with you. I think that I don't think they caught up to Mercedes as far as being like Mercedes versus Red Bull. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Mercedes has caught up to the Red Bull. Yeah, you're right. I don't think that Mercedes has caught up to the Red Bull. I think this track suits more the Red Bull car. Even though these cars have a lot more downforce, but the Red Bull corners better. So I would say Max, Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, and Paris. If there are no mishaps with Paris this year. Yeah, but that's something I think Max is gonna. I think that Red Bull's gonna hit back. Yeah, Red Bull's gonna hit back, man. I think Max is out for blood this race. Do you think, or any of you guys think, that we're gonna see any incidences?
Of course,
between Max and Hamilton.
Ooh,
he's gonna be overly aggressive for sure.
Max is.
Oh yeah,
to the point where he causes an accident.
I think that I think that.
I think Lewis is smarter than that.
I think that.
He's also fed up.
I think Lewis is smarter than that, and I think Max probably at the end of last race understands. I need to protect my championship
lead.
This is my legacy coming up.
So do you see how, let's say in a wheel-to-wheel battle, they're going into, let's say, turn one, because it's usually the overtaking corner of this track.
Dude,
who backs out of that corner?
Dude, I don't think either one backs out. I think if there's another collision, you're gonna see like Christian Horner with a steel chair.
WWE status.
Yo, he's gonna slide in like, yo, I'm ready.
He's gonna RKO Toto out of nowhere.
It's gonna be nuts. He's gonna He's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. He went crazy last race. Imagine that happens this
I don't
time.
remember the actual race, but remember, and I don't remember also who he was after. Remember when Schumacher went to the other person's garage, whoever crashed him in the race?
Oh yeah,
Something like that.
We've seen that from Max.
Well, we've seen that from Max.
Yeah, but that was in the waiting, so like
with Ocon.
Yeah.
There was one really smart guy last week that compared Max and Schumacher, by the way. Yo, Ruben, I had to go all the way back, by the way, to 2014 for the Daniel Ricciardo win.
Okay.
He has not done too well the last couple of years with Renault.
Okay.
Twice, obviously, and it has. Just
I think
been.
he's just he's fanboy.
But remember-
He wants to be.
No,
He wants Ricciardo to do well.
Shout
Obviously,
out to Liz.
doesn't go down in the history or whatever. But remember that he was also once doing super awesome in the race, and then again, our boy Max, being also super aggressive, did not let him through, crashed him out. I do remember that time that because Max went behind, he bam.
That was Baku, no?
That was not Baku. That was here. Not here. Hungaroring.
And then Hungaroring.
He retired in 2017 due to a radiator. That was his only retirement.
That's it. That was the date.
I think you're just making this up.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Why would I make it up?
Sorry.
Why would I make it up?
I'm not. Ask for me, bro. Okay. All right.
The teammates collided at turn 2 after Verstappen tires locked up. This caused Ricciardo's radiator to break, forcing him to retire. Verstappen subsequent. No. What you should do is the Bottas. Yeah. So Yhancy. Oh man.
All right. So who comes out on top? Ferrari or McLaren?
McLaren.
I think Ferrari.
Same here. Why do you say McLaren?
So can I back that up? The question is who comes out on top, meaning who scores the most points this weekend?
Yes.
Out of the two teams?
Yes.
Okay. I think Ferrari.
Why you say McLaren?
Mando.
Okay. There's another teammate.
And Ricardo getting his back his group.
I think I'm going to crash into him. Break his radiator.
I don't see McLaren doing well at this track, man. I think they're more suited to a higher speed. Not that they're going to do bad. I think they'll score points, but I think they're more suited to a higher speed track than this one. We saw what happened in Monaco.
Okay.
And then we've seen the Ferrari, run pretty well in tracks like Silverstone. So
That's a really good point. We did see what happened at Monaco.
yeah. So
That's where you're the best in the business.
So
Yhancy.
I don't know, man. That's why I'm asking you. I don't know.
Sunday's a couple of days away.
Well, listen, I strongly disagree with you in an objective point of view and a subjective point of view.
Maybe we go ahead and we ask our audience, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, who do you think is going to have the better race? Ferrari or McLaren? Who's going to score more points? I really love that statement you just brought up that at Monaco, Ferrari just looked on another level compared to pretty much everybody else.
Remember, Carlos Sainz came in second.
I'm saying Ferrari.
Carlos Sainz came in second, and Leclerc took pole but couldn't start because he crashed up. But they were running really well at Monaco.
Yeah.
And this would have been remember I said after Monaco, since they ran so well, Hungary would be one of the tracks to look at. The other track would have been Singapore if they had not canceled it. Singapore.
We will make the trip one day.
Yeah.
Who will be the biggest surprise of the race, guys?
Biggest surprise of the race, I think, is going to be the Aston Martins.
Ooh.
They got third and fourth here last. Am I saying that correctly? Before I
Yes.
shove my foot in my
I
mouth
believe
here.
it's turn 4.
No, they did not. Lance Stroll finished in 4th, and Sergio Perez finished in 7th. Either way, I think they qualified 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, that's what it was. Huh?
So I believe that car is gonna be good at this track. We saw Vettel do really well at Monaco, and that's the closest kind of comparison that we have right now. What do you guys think would be the biggest surprise?
What about you, Ruben?
Ricardo actually doing well.
Sucks that that's a surprise.
Boy, you were really on the Ricardo train, bro.
That is a surprise.
I think we're gonna see Pierre Gasly,
The gas man,
come back into Q3 and give us a performance that is well worthy of his skills. I think he's been a little bit off his game the past few weeks.
Yeah.
I think he's due, and I'm not sure how he performs at this track, but this track seems like it'll suit the AlphaTauris very well. So
That was a nice little curve Yhancy was through there with Gasly.
I think
We have actually forgotten about Gasly.
yes, we have, but I think
Tsunoda was the only point scorer last week. That's crazy at Silverstone.
for what? He's the only what?
Point scorer for Honda. I'm sorry, I didn't finish that statement.
Oh wow, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
yeah, because the strategy was messed up for Gasly, Vettel,
Yeah. We forgot about that guy.
Oh, Sonoda, man.
because they started in the sauce.
Yeah. Anything else, boys?
Nah, man. Another F1 weekend. And unfortunately, enjoy this one, guys, because we have the summer break.
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Will we
Not
get
enough F1
Fernando
race.
Alonso on a deck chair?
Oh.
Will we get it? Somebody's got to do
it.
Nah, we won't get that.
I hope so. I think they're going to do it. Who's willing to place a bet on it?
Not me.
Not me.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. At Jump to Start F1 on Twitter and Instagram. Please make sure to follow us, say hello. We're on YouTube at Jump to Start Racing Podcast. You can see us right now. We are also on many, many, many podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Stitcher, among them. I'll again repeat, at Jump to Start F1 for Instagram and Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe.
Thumbs up.
Hit the bell, especially a thumbs up. Guys, we love you. See you next week. Enjoy the race.
Peace.